What's up, party people on the internet? You're probably wondering why it is that you're all over the place. Well, there's a good reason for that. I've decided that let me rewind a little bit. I like to find subtle, interesting ways to annoy people. So one of the ways that I've decided to annoy you, dear viewer, on this fine day is to use one of my small rig clamps to attach my Intova Dub camera to my steering wheel. I don't know why these people are walking so leisurely across this road. I've attached my Intova Dub action camera to my steering wheel with a small rig clamp. What does that mean for you? It means that every time I steer the wheel, your perspective gets to change. And I think it's hilarious just thinking about what this video is going to look like. Oh, this is probably going to be a bad idea. But it's a leisurely drive, 35, 40 minutes away. What have I got to lose besides I'm a pretty good driver. I can dodge a stupid action camera on the wheel. Definitely won't result in any kind of a wreck. No, sir. Definitely safe. Can you tell I'm being ridiculous? Oh, look at that. Oh, this is going to be terrible. All right, so what are we going to talk about today? Well, it doesn't really matter. This whole camera on the steering wheel thing is hilarious. Oh, look at that. That jerk that thought he could bypass me ended up not being able to bypass me. And you got stuck behind traffic. What a loser. All right. So, oh crud. You know, I just realized that I don't know what was it I was going to talk about. It's gone. It's gone. Well, it's not hot outside at all today. Yeah, let's talk about the weather, because that's how you strike up conversation with strangers. Talk about the weather. You know, let's just scrap what I was thinking about whenever I attached this camera to the steering wheel. And instead, let's talk about how exciting of a time it is to be someone who's into content creation of any sort. Because it's a truly exciting time. If you do audio, video, books, art, whatever, it doesn't matter what kind of content you create, it is an exciting time to be a creator. A lot of the roadblocks that existed even back in the 1990s have been completely removed. You can, oh God, my nose is killing me. A lot of the roadblocks that were present in the 90s are gone. You have the internet, which has been a great democratizing force for anybody who wants to make anything, because now you can present it to the entire world just by setting up a website and a domain name for $20. And that's just opened up so many possibilities. Just being able to get your work out there is the single biggest amazing thing that we get to enjoy today that I feel like probably is taken for granted now. But you have to remember, back in the 90s, even the early 2000s, when the internet was still sort of growing and finding its way into homes, and high-speed internet was not quite prolific yet, you didn't have a lot of options as far as getting stuff out. If you had a book and you wanted to write and publish a book, your options were to take it to a publisher. And it's really similar to now. Take it to a publisher and hope that they'll do it, or you self-publish. The thing is, taking it to a publisher is no longer your only option as far as actually getting exposure beyond your tiny little group. Think about Amazon and what they've done with the publishing business. Not only can you self-publish on Amazon, but you can do so in a way that doesn't even require printing a physical book for people to watch and enjoy, or read and enjoy, rather. I'm getting ahead of myself on that stuff. I'm talking about video soon. So you can put your book on Amazon and people can read the book without even getting a physical copy. All the logistics of delivery are optional at this point. And they can have a hardbound copy or whatever if you set it up that way. But the whole thing is you can tell your story and you can present it in book format to anyone. They can throw it on their e-reader now, and you never had to send anything. You don't have to pay for printing or any of that. It's cheaper than ever to get your story out there. If you're an artist, there are websites that cater to artists all over the place. Ignoring things like DeviantArt, which is just so full of people. You've got all these specialty sites that cater to all kinds of niche interests that you'd never see being so prolific as they are today. Whenever I think niche interest, I think furries. I don't even know why. It's just that seems to be the de facto niche art interest in my mind. But maybe that says more about either me or the internet than anything else. So, artists, you can get out there. You can get known. You can show your work. You can find people who will pay for your work. You can even get a job from putting your art on the internet. You don't have to slap together a portfolio and run around begging in offices, showing your drawings and trying not to deal with this nauseating camera on the steering wheel thing I've decided to do today. Just to make some sort of economic benefit from your art. Woo! So that you can survive. Audio, my God, audio. If you're in audio, this, May 2019, this is the best time ever. I have never seen a better time to be involved in the creation of audio. If you do voice acting, if you do music, any of it, it has never been so cheap to get nice, large diaphragm condenser microphones. You can get your hands on decent instruments for prices that are obscenely low. All the cheap stuff from China does have its benefits, and being able to get a $150 guitar is one of them. No, it won't sound like a $1,000 guitar, but it doesn't have to. You can do all kinds of things with music and audio that would have cost a lot just in equipment to make a professional sounding product before. But now you can purchase an audio recorder. You don't even have to purchase an audio recorder. I got a Tascam condenser mic, a pencil style condenser mic, on a deal for like $20 or $40. It came with a stand and a battery and everything, and you can plug it into your cell phone and record your voice or record your instrument or whatever, and it sounds good. I mean, it's not as good as a $1,000 microphone. It's no Neumann, but it sounds good. And that's the amazing part of it all. It sounds good. Back in the day, if you bought a cheap microphone, cheap microphones go for, back then, they went for way more than a cheap microphone does today, and they sounded way worse. If you got a cheap stage microphone, it would probably be one of those high impedance mics that just, it's too quiet, or they were awful. They were so bad. And now you can get large diaphragm condensers on deals for $40. It's just amazing, the opportunities with that. Never mind where you can put the stuff. There are websites that cater just to voice actors. Websites where you can put up samples and get hired for jobs. There are websites, you can share your music anywhere. It's obscene how many places there are to share music. Music is basically, it's almost like the internet was designed to proliferate music. YouTube, the biggest video site on the planet, is absolutely slam full of music videos, of which most of the point is the music and not the video. You have Spotify, literally millions upon millions of people on there, and if you can get your music to be published there, which apparently is not that hard if you're even remotely decent, you stand a good chance of getting a lot of exposure through that. Sorry, throat thing. It's easier than ever to find someone to be in your band or to collaborate with you on your songs. It's just amazing. Now, video, you're watching me. Do I really have to explain the video side of it? But I will anyway. Video. Never mind all the new gear, even just the quality of used gear has grown so much. You can get cameras for $100 that will produce a decent picture, a decent 1080p full high definition picture, enough for you to get started. But beyond that, even an older $100 Android phone, let's just say, $100 at retail several years ago, can produce video at least decent enough for you to get started. Now, cameras and camcorders are still really expensive compared to some other equipment, and there are reasons for that. If you think about the fact that a camera or camcorder may be asked to literally take 60 pictures per second to produce a video and process that in real time into a video, it's pretty amazing. But I want you to think about this when it comes to video. This Intova dub that I've strapped to my steering wheel as sort of a joke for this video, well, I paid $20 for it. And you're about to get leaned way over, buddy. Woohoo! I paid $20 for this Intova dub camera. It costs a little more than that right now, but it's a 1080p action camera that costs $20 and produces much better video than the webcam on any laptop I've ever seen, and most cheap smartphones don't produce video quite as good either. It's got some aliasing issues, but that's about it. So I've got this $20 action camera clamped to a steering wheel with a clamp that cost as much as the camera did, $20. And then this thing that you're hearing me on, this is an $8 eBay lapel mic. No, it doesn't sound great. It's not the best microphone. It's better than the microphone in my cell phone, and it sounds fine for what I'm doing with this right now. It's an $8 microphone, and I'm using my phone as an audio recorder because, frankly, the audio on the Intova dub is garbage. But I just want you to think about that. Oh yeah, I've got an SD card in it, but you can get an SD card that'll work in this camera for $10. So $40 and I've got a portable vlogging kit, 60 if you count the fancy pants clamp. Although strictly speaking, you don't need a clamp, you could tape this stupid thing to your dashboard. So with all this cheap yet decent, I'm not going to say great, but decent, functional equipment available for audio, video, and the proliferation of platforms for artists of all stripes to get their stuff out there and have it seen, we really do live in an amazing time. You can go out and tell your story and produce your video and draw your drawings, and you can get it in front of eyeballs that will appreciate what you do. And you can build an audience and have camaraderie with them, have discussions, meet new people. And you can do all of this without leaving your room. I mean, it's kind of sad that you have to, if you're meeting people and you're not leaving your room, that means you don't have any friends in real life necessarily, but a lot of those people that you interact with in your audience could potentially become, close friends. A lot of people have met very close individuals on the internet, and that's just one more way to do it, is put your art out there, someone likes it, you get to talking, you realize that you have a lot in common. But it wouldn't be possible without all the stuff that's going on now. See, back in the day, you used to have to buy a pro camera for thousands of dollars, or you'd have to deal with the horrors of a cheap mini DV cam that produced pretty bad footage and just was difficult to work with. You had to have a computer that could bring the video in. It was, and I'm talking about video in like 2007, 2008, we were still dealing primarily in mini DV videotapes instead of the whole DVD camcorder thing. That was kind of junky. DVDs, they're not that great as a recording medium for a camcorder for a lot of reasons. But, you know, hard drive camcorders started coming out, but for the most part, you would find all the cheapest stuff was like mini DV. All digital storage was not really popular in camcorders yet until about a decade ago. They started kicking everything over to cards and hard drives. And that's when you started to see, 2009 or so, everything started really being SD cards and hard drives. And that's when you saw a pretty big growth in the number of people creating things. To keep in mind, YouTube was founded in the mid-2000s. So it had been around for several years, but the problem is always one of access. I mean, access first. It doesn't matter if you have the talent. It doesn't matter what you have as far as intangible assets. If you do not have access to the equipment you need to produce the stuff that you want to show people, then you simply don't get to show anyone that stuff. And that's the end of it. You're cut off. Hang on a second, I'm going to adjust my speed here. This road goes too slow. All of the barriers to entry into the business, be it audio, video, artistry, authorship, all of those barriers to entry have largely been destroyed. You can create and you can distribute, and people will be able to appreciate that stuff. Whether it's good or bad, they'll be able to see it and judge for themselves rather than being held back by your inability to get your hands on a camcorder or your inability to get a publisher to put your work out there. So let's take a moment and let's appreciate how everyone truly does have a voice. Everyone has access with minimal effort and financial commitment to platforms that let them say what they want to say and meet new people, make new friends, collaborate with others, and just generally put themselves out there and receive a little appreciation for what they do and what they bring to the table. You tired of this action camera on the steering wheel thing yet? This is going to be hilarious. I told you most of the roads are pretty straight, but every turn you're going to get to take a ride. Woohoo! It actually just occurred to me that I'm going to have a hard time getting this off prior to stopping somewhere. So I didn't really think this action camera on the steering wheel thing through, at least not beyond the safety concern. So far, my experience with having an action camera clamped to my steering wheel has not been a bad one. It's an unused part of the wheel. It's a part of the wheel that I almost never need to put my hands on. And even if I did need to put my hands on it, I could easily avoid the camera. It's not going too badly, although I can't imagine how bad this video is going to look later. I mean, oh my God, I just can't. Oh, the more I think about the way this is going to come out, the funnier it is. Oh, you sorry guinea pigs. Oh, I'm so sorry you have to watch this, but laugh with me. Oh God, there's a tear in my eye. Okay. Oh, has anyone who has seen this also seen the film American Beauty? Because I just ran over a garbage or a grocery store bag, and it floated very, very slowly down to the grass, and I thought of that movie and that ridiculous bit where he's filming a grocery bag, a plastic grocery bag floating to the ground and flying up in the wind. And she asks him what he's doing, and he says, It's the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. Oh, God. There are some things that I kind of just wish weren't part of the zeitgeist. Yeah. All right. I think that this torture session has probably come to its natural conclusion. Like I was saying, this torture session has come to its natural conclusion. So I'll be going now and enjoying the rest of my drive through Look at All the Bales of Hayville, and I just want to apologize again for all of the nausea that I'm probably causing you and your computer. Maybe I'll remix this up into a crappy music video or something. Maybe it'll be so bad that I won't post it. Well, if you're watching this, you know what happened. You know what happened. All right, guys. One last little note in closing. I can't do that funny little hand thing that I do in some of my videos because I'm driving. So, just, I don't know, maybe I'll light a fire on the end of this finger in post and you can enjoy that. Or maybe not. That was dumb. This is definitely one of the better decisions I've made in my life. Now that I think about it, that camera might be getting a lot of footage of my nostrils. You might need to come off that steering wheel. You can think of this as a parrot's eye view, and you can just kind of guess that I hate the parrot. I kind of just want to record the entire ride this way and see how it comes out. The camera has been tilted basically the entire time, and it's driving me a little bit nuts to see it that way. This is probably the least flattering angle that I could have chosen for the camera, short of just clamping it to my gut. That would have been great. Wobble, 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 all the way down the road. Oh, look, a tree. I've never seen a tree before. Oh, hey, look, that nasty left curve I really hate. I wonder what's going to happen if I take that left curve right now. Oh, hey, oh, look. Oh, you guys are like tipping over. Oh, you got to stop drinking. You guys drink too much alcohol. You are a little bit inebriated. You got to stand up, men. Oh, God, I can't deal with you drunk people watching my show. I'm cutting you off. No more tequila for you. No, oh, what did I tell you? Look, you can't even stay up. What's wrong with you? Why? Oh, yeah, no. You're just too drunk. Go home, you're drunk. And why are you standing on my steering wheel? And how did you get so short? And how are you holding on so well? it's almost like you're clamped to it. I'm at the part of this road where I pulled off into some guy's wooded driveway to hide from what I thought was a state trooper staking people out. And the guy comes bolting up the driveway, and he's like, "What are you doing?" Like, he chased me down the road. And what do you even do with that, you know? So ever since that guy decided to go ballistic because I was parked at the end of his driveway down the woods, I don't even know how he knew I was in that driveway. I've always wanted to do something really horrible to his driveway, and I'm pretty sure it's that one. But the problem is, you don't know if there's somebody else living there now. You have no way of knowing. Well, I suppose you could go to the GIS and find out, but you generally have no way of knowing who really lives there now, and you could end up trashing someone's driveway who didn't do it. Sometimes it is best to just let things go. Besides, I was 19 and I was stupid and scared and speeding. I kind of stopped doing that. Not because of that incident, more so because I got really tired of paying thousands of dollars in tickets and more so insurance. Yeah, it's really not worth it to go super fast, but you do have to follow the flow of traffic for safety. This video is not supposed to be a lesson in traffic safety, but it seems like too many people have no freaking clue what they're doing when it comes to driving down the road and not potentially killing everyone. And the truth is, if you do the math, unless you're driving like 18 hours, you're not going to get much for your 5 extra miles an hour of driving. If you go 70 instead of 65, well, the way to think about it is 1 mile per hour is 1/60th of a mile per minute. So if you're going an extra 5 miles per hour, you're going an extra 5/60ths of a mile per minute, or 1/12th of a mile per minute times 60 minutes is what? 5 more miles? Yeah. That's the definition of miles per hour. I am an idiot, and you're going down because I'm embarrassed now. But if you're literally going 5 miles an hour over, five extra miles per hour on your 20-minute trip, you might get there a minute or two sooner. What are you going to do with that extra minute? 60 seconds. 60 seconds. You go faster, burn more gas, potentially cause more danger. I don't believe that speeding is inherently dangerous. It depends heavily on the context. But, you know, potentially you're putting people in danger so that you can get there 60 seconds sooner. And there's no way that 60 seconds is going to make a huge difference in the vast majority of cases. Oh, you get to work early so you can get a cup of coffee before you go to your desk? Well, what good did that 60 seconds do you? Like, who's counting? Oh, big deal, you clocked in a minute late. You know, do you really find that in your life, things like clocking in come down to the minute, that you're going to get your head axed off if you don't clock in right on time or earlier? I mean, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And if you're in a situation like that, it would be fairly wise to attempt to get out of that situation, because people who are that strict are not the kind of people that you want to be dealing with long term, and eventually they will hurt you. And over time, the hurt can add up to a lot of hurt. Hey, a curve. I wonder what'll happen if, oh, yeah, buddy. All right. This camera on the steering wheel thing, it's a neat little novelty, but I think that it has worn off. I'm no longer enamored with the idea. That's nerd speak for it's just not as funny as it was whenever I started. So I think I'm going to stop now. Let me know if you think that all the nausea I gave you was funny. Looking forward to my comment section being empty, because that's typical. Not that people would leave negative comments, just that people don't really comment. And, you know, trees. The moral of the story is trees. Bye!